Well, the onset of fall weather, Coach, certainly a welcome occurrence for folks in Silicon Valley, and we've got football on a gorgeous day here in Santa Clara as we are situated at Levi's Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Baltimore Ravens. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And the San Francisco 49ers.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. 9, 4.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's upended at the 33. Following a good pickup of 8.
He's taken down at the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 33-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Stay situation. Let's go. Race don't travel. Race don't travel.
2nd and 2. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Squeeze, squeeze, get in there.
On 3rd and 2, Love. He's going deep for Brown. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now it's Newton here off the bootleg.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there. Brandon looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Newton to throw. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. A good pickup there at 22. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
Hey, we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got it.
That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point try good by Gano, and it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
2nd and long. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick 6, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visit. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
To throw on 3rd down. Love. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. Touchdown, 49ers! Cam Newton now with 2 first-quarter touchdown passes. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, But you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
First down. 50. Clear. Let's go, boys. Flat.
They'll run on first down. It's Watson. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. He shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one...
And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. Picked off at the 36. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
And as a defender, if you go with 2 interceptions in a game, that's pretty rare in the NFL. You might see one guy a weekend do that. But to have 2 in the first quarter, that's something you don't see all that often. I have a feeling they'll think twice about throwing in his direction too often.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
The tally there, minus 2 yards, brings up third down.
Brings up third down and 8.
21-0 our score after 1. Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Newton. This will be caught inside the 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Mike. Silver.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. A loss of 2 there, second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Not even a chance to pitch that one as he's swallowed up in the backfield. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
It's now 3rd and goal.
Here's Barkley. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. This situation in the 4th quarter, you go for it. But here, take the points.
If you go for it here and don't get it, you and I are missing our plane, and we're going to the post-game press conference to hear him justify it. Because the next thing we'll see is the owner walking in announcing a firing. There is no way he goes for it here. Get the field goal. It's the first half of the game. You've got time to make it up.
This one fielded at the 5. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off near his own 48. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Saquon Barkley. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Just beating the play clock is Newton. There goes a deep ball. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. Cam Newton with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half as his guys continue to pour it on. Gano the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. To throw again. Love. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. From the gun. Love. And he's going to go down again. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
From just shy of midfield, Newton. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack. Back at the 47-yard line. Jalen Ferguson, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. Looking right sideline, that's complete. Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. First down, San Francisco, the pickup, 14 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Another try after the first down sack. Newton gets this out to Saquon Barkley. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. From the gun on third down, Newton. Well, he's going to go for it. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. 4 touchdown passes now for Cam Newton as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point try good by Gano. And a rout is on here in this first half. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown as the first half is winding down, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
Yeah, you heard it, right?
Exhale.
You heard the exhale, and I'm taking that from their bench because finally, right before the half, they find a way to get the ball in the end zone and get some points on the board. Maybe they can use that to kickstart them for the second half.
Yeah, just to get something before going into the lockers. And now in the second half, if they can just tighten.
That's what they want to do. Tighten down everything they're doing, and then maybe explode at the right time.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
25 yards, the pickup there, and also a first down.
First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Switch it.
From the 50, Newton. And a diving grab. I think he got that, yes. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Remember, last year in Week 5, Gano was good from 63 away to beat the Giants on the final play. This not as critical of a kick or as long, but also not as successful.
You're exactly right about that. I was fortunate enough to be on the call for that game. You know, me and my crew, we got to see them when they lined up.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 20, and he will be brought down as time has now run out on this first half of action. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Barkley. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Mike. got him. Let's go.
They'll go to Barkley again, and he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. They lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to 4th down.
It's 4th down.
They are going to go for it. It's Newton. Got his target, Samuel. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Coming to you.
A first down carry for Barkley. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run it again with Barkley. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. That one a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On first down, Barkley. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense is getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Now it's a former Raven. This is Kyle Juszczyk. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
3rd and 1.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard.
That's the way. Check 4. Express. Watch the slant. Here we go.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. He can run for it, and he will. The keeper nets him only a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th. Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? He may try and run for this. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Here's Sam Martin now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know in the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
36, 25, check 25, check 25. Check 24, check 24. Tight dog.
To throw on second down. Love. And this one complete to Smith. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Number 85. An 8-yard pickup. First down, Ravens.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Keep it up, guys. Kill, kill, kill. Turn it up. Gone. Turn it up. Joker. Set, go.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
I'm coming after you.
Operating from the gun. Love. He's got Smith here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 at a Baltimore first down. Two first downs have them up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. Back now here in Santa Clara. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Okay, break. Check, 59. Check.
On 1st and 10, Love. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Here we go. Set. 50. Plant. I'm going to come back to you. Bang, 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 bang. Check 9.
2nd and 14. And now here is another interception. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them until the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
I got you. Check 3. Switch. Check. Go.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Love. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is caught at the 20. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Love. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, D.
They begin with a run by Barkley. And he's taken down. It's a gain of 3 from the 17 to the 20.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go larga. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton steps away to his left. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Here's Newton. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 47. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. They'll run on 1st down. Barkley. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 1st down, San Francisco. The pickup, 14 yards.
That's good for a 49er.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. And to give this time to the tailback. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd down, here's Barkley, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. Looking for the end zone, and this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Cano now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, go!
From the gun on third down. Love. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now fourth down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Niners take over in terrific field position.
50, ready, look at it. Check 53. 8. Shit.
On first down, Barkley. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who have them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message? And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Now we'll get whistles, and they've signaled for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Got a man. It's Brown. A big offensive explosion helped leading.